Hello guys, this is the Anet A8, as you know. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about this 3D printer for just for about a few minutes. I know there is a lot of video out there, you can see how people upgrade it, but I'm gonna talk about a couple of things that you really need to know. And one of the things that nobody mentioned, I see lots of video on YouTube for the bed leveling. One of the issue with this 3D printer is when you do bed leveling, the bed, it might slide so hard. Why? Because the bed level, the bed platform is quite harder than a base, this lower metal. So as you try to level the bed, you might push or pull that bottom base, and it cause bend the this frame, and it cause a bearing to slide really hard. So you should be aware of that. I think one of the upgrades that you need to do is just change this base. I might doing it later on, because I did a lot of upgrade on this 3D printer. So, there is so many things. The bed, as you might know, the bed tension, the belt tensions is very important. As it getting loose, you got more error, more artifact because of the belts. So it's good to have a tight belt, not that tight. You have to have a slightly play on your belt, not fully tight, but it should be tight. And MOSFET, as you can see here, I changed the first thing I've done, because I noticed after leaving my 3D printer on like 2-3 hours, that socket was extremely hot. The wire cover was melted down. And what I've done, first thing, I changed my wire. I ordered a new wire from eBay that can handle more amps, and also I put a MOSFET on. And my power supply, I changed it out. I just found a scrapped PC on the road, and I took off the power supply and I put it on. And the other thing I like to mention, you see so many people, they drill this base and they remove that nuts, and they put their own nuts. What you need to do, you need to put two nuts, one at the top and bottom. What it does, basically, when you level your bed, it hold it in a place, but when you drill it, there is a slightly move that you're not gonna notice it, but there is a slightly move when you just put one screw, one nut at the bottom. When you put it from the two side, it hold it hold the screw in a place, and it wouldn't let to play or move around. And this was the other thing I like to mention. And my whole X carriage is my own design. There is no any bearings on that. It doesn't need, because it's so light. As you can see, that's it. Even for my bed platform, I just print my own bearing, and I just put it on and slide it in. It's cool. It works really well. The other thing I print, it was that lattice cube, and I've done it 50%, and I turn it off because it takes really long to print. And as you can see, I just want to show you, so many 3D printers failed to print this lattice cube. but I've done it. And I turned off my I stopped my print when it was on a 50%. So as you can see, this is that's what I print. Yeah, that's what I print, and it basically it shows how good your 3D printer is. I mean, if your 3D printer doesn't print this cube, it could, because of play in your axis is Y and X, and the other thing, it depends how good, I mean how good your 3D printer can be cool down the filament after coming out of the extruder. Yeah, the other thing what I like to mention, these top of the lead screws. I lined up my lead screws basically from the bottom to this top hole, and I print this part, and also I order like a skate bearing, which is 8mm bearing, and it fit in. I mean, it's from a skateboard, and it comes, you can get it really cheap, and it's on eBay. Just type a skateboard ball bearing, it comes up. I think 2, 3, or maybe 4 for a few pounds. It's not that much expensive. Yeah, it's there is so many upgrades. I see so many people, they make it so so they upgrade nonsense stuff, you know. They put so many things at the top, at the bottom, you know, crazy. It doesn't need that much upgrade. The main thing is keep it steady, like keep it like what I'm saying is like your belt has to be tight enough. It doesn't have that much movement, you know. Even when you after you putting this lid screw top, it helps a lot to keep the body rigid. I mean, it makes the body rigid, so it's not gonna move that much. And you know, the other thing, the people printing box for their boards, electric boards, crap things, you know. All I did, just I ordered some wire sleeve, and I cover up the whole wires because it was too messy. And this is what you can see. It really works well, and this is one of the print that I've done, and you can see how small and how crisp it is. Just let me zoom in. Come on. Why it doesn't zoom in? Focus on. Okay, never mind, but it's really good. It's really good, and I put it here for top and bottom, as you can see. I hope it helps to you to improve your 3D printer. And at the end, what I think about this 3D printer. Well, the 3D printer worth the price. I mean, you pay 100. I bought this my 3D printer back in the days for 100. I mean, back in the days, what I mean, last year I bought it for £120, and it's quite good. You know, you need to upgrade so many parts, and it's a lot of things you're gonna learn by this 3D printer. I mean, you're gonna get a concept how this 3D printer works. But if you think you are not that type of guy, you want just something just print with, or you don't want to waste your time on fixing, upgrading, I don't recommend this 3D printer, because this 3D printer needs lots of upgrades, as I said, tips and tweaks, you know. Oh my days. I can't tell. I spend more than 50 hours on this 3D printer just to get it right, and still it needs. Sometimes I am having issue with bed, and you know, because I'm not looking for the quality just to print the cube. I'm printing like a proper parts, like I'm designing now my own plane, RC plane, and I'm doing like very good designing with this 3D printer, so I needed to have a minimum error on this 3D printer, so that's why I'm quite bothered with this 3D printer, but it's okay. I'm still enjoying it, and I'm planning to maybe later on to make my own 3D printer. But for now, this was my review.